We talk for 8 hours about
About what?
this, then I will miss jury duty.
I've only been called for jury duty once,
That's lucky.
and it was as a sub for a grand jury, and it was simultaneously the most interesting and boring thing I have ever done in my life.
All right, Audacity is not starting properly for me.
Slacker.
I don't want to restart. Uh, yeah, let me text Leor and ask her if it's okay. Whatever, she'll live with it. Uh, oh, also, I need a invite to the guild at some point.
Okay. I will be on with Susanna later.
Well, or I can get it sometime during the week. I have actually been playing.
Or actually, Talon could invite you. She's got.
Oh, Audacity started. Never mind.
Okay.
Woo!
Let's do it.
Sweet.
All right, let's start. 3, 2, 1, start.
Okay. Should we clap now?
Yes. Everybody. No, it didn't record.
Oh my god.
Not responding. Oh my god, Audacity.
Worthless.
Well, we'll just
Error
have to
while
clap
opening
again when
sound
you get it
device.
started.
Please
Did
check
you not
input
start it
settings on
as
project
administrator?
sample rate. No, of course I didn't start it. You don't have to.
Oh, did you update to the most recent version? Because I had that same problem earlier when I was testing my microphone, and I updated, and then it was fine. It gave me that sample rate bullshit.
How do I update the latest version?
You go to Audacity and download the new version and
I have
install
to
it.
do it that way. Oh my god,
How
pain in the ass.
how else would you update something other than by updating?
Like most, because why this should be like a auto update. I'm on Windows. It's always supposed to auto update. All right. Well, sorry guys. I thought I was gonna be on time and we were gonna be all sorted and organized, and we could laugh at how Lior is never organized, and instead this happened. Wow. I am.
It's
I'm on an ancient version of Audacity.
it is still 5 minutes sooner than we usually get started. Because usually at this point I still don't have an invite, so I'm sending frantic IMs going, "Where's the invite? I can't get in." And so
That's so true. Already exists. Install to this folder anyway. Yes. All right. Let's see what happens. I have a new cable modem sitting in the box outside, so I'm excited. Maybe my internet will be better. I'm glad I started the YouTube broadcast
Oh,
because.
seriously? Nice.
hi YouTube. Even though the only person who watches on YouTube is actually in here now.
I think that's not true. Like, there were a lot of views when I looked at the YouTube channel.
I think Mangle watches it live, and maybe
I don't know.
Pam does
Apparently, a lot of
sometimes.
people watch it through YouTube, regardless of if they watch it live or not, like after the fact.
Well, I'm gonna futz around with my overlay while you're doing your Audacity thing, so I
Yeah,
can figure out how to get to go.
I have a splash screen.
Of who?
Audacity.
Oh, okay.
All right. Oh my god. Stop starting up and just start up. You're always preparing. All right. Let me try and start a recording. No, it's still not working. Oh no, whatever. Error while opening sound recording device settings and sample rate. I've never changed any of that shit. Recording
Yeah,
device.
sorry.
Make this my device. Communication device? I don't know. Maybe because I like unplugged and like plugged everything back in. when I like moved some stuff around.
That's possible. Are you sure your microphone is plugged in?
I'm not sure my microphone's plugged in. I mean,
Because that was the other problem I was having.
this microphone's plugged in, because then you can hear me.
Well, yeah.
All right, sweet, it's working now. All right, cancel.
Should I close and reopen Audacity?
Let's do a new Audacity, or just like delete. Let's just reopen a new Audacity file, everybody.
Okay, hold on a sec.
Okay, except it may have crashed my laptop. Okay, wait, there we go.
All right, I'm ready when you guys are.
We're still 3 minutes ahead of schedule.
I know. Yeah, 6:45. Like if we start before 7, we're doing pretty well.
I was surprised I got the call out early. I was in the other room watching a movie and had to run in here to get all set up.
All right.
I actually started. I like scheduled the hangout earlier today. And
Wow.
So
Why are you so prepared?
because like every time we do this, Leor's like, I don't know how to do it. It's and it's changed and it's hard. And it was hard because the new version of Google Plus won't like go to a secondary Google account. It only goes to your primary Google account. So
that's no good.
Yeah, so I had to revert to the old version of Google, then go to Hangouts, and then start Hangout on air, rather than it's dumb.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, it works now. Is everybody ready for Audacity now?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right, 1, 2, 3, go.
Merry Christmas.
Awesome. All right. Okay, it's even recording the right microphone. Perfect. All right. So I guess we start, right?
Sure.
Sure.
There's my note. All right. Intro time. Hello and welcome to Cat Context, episode 90, for Wednesday, January 13th, 2016. For those of you paying attention, this is also episode 69, part 21. This week, Leor was unable to make it because we are going to be talking about Star Wars, and she doesn't care. So instead, I have Arrow, as usual. Hi, Arrow.
Hello.
And special guest, Cor.
Hello.
Cor is back because he's named after a Star Wars character.
The only
And
person who
he
knows
loves it.
more about ridiculous Star Wars lordy bullshit than I do.
So, up front, it's obviously a spoiler episode. So if you haven't seen The Force Awakens, walk away slowly, and come back next time, I guess. We still love you, but we decided we wanted to do this while it's still relatively fresh in our minds. It's been, 2 weeks since I saw it now? So I'll do my best, but yeah. So how are you guys doing? You guys have had a good weekend, good week?
Yes.
Yes?
Question mark.
Yeah, I have. I honestly, I don't remember what day it is. I have no
It's
clue.
Sunday.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
It's
wait, no,
Sunday.
I'm sorry. It's Wednesday, January 13th, 2016. January 13th. Oh.
13th. Yeah.
Wow. This is just getting better and better.
Yeah, so.
No, I mean, I don't remember my weekend at all. I'm trying to get the 2-year-old to grow out of the car sickness is the way my
Oh,
weekend
no.
But we're not going to talk about that because
that
it's
sounds-
horrible.
That
Sandwich
sounds-
bags in the backseat at all times.
But she's 2, and so she doesn't.
We can
Well, not
barely-
only can she not aim, she can't say, "Hey, I'm not feeling good,"
Right.
Oh, just
because she has no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
this feels funny. Bleh.
Yeah, just all of a sudden we hear an erp noise and a terrible smell.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have
Never
that
have
problem this
children.
weekend.
Never.
Well, Cor is the only one left on that boat, so.
And people listen. You know. If
about you,
any of
Cor?
you don't have children, don't continue not to have children.
How about you, Cor?
Weekend was good. I was in Tahoe. I was in Tahoe, but didn't go skiing or anything. I kind of hung at the cabin and did cabin-y stuff. So that was really fun. But that was kind of what mine was. I got back like an hour or two ago.
Even
Huh?
though it didn't go skiing, is the snow nice?
Yeah, there's lots and lots of snow. I just don't ski anymore. I've had too many knee surgeries from stuff, so I avoid that.
I can understand that. I mean, I haven't had knee surgeries, but.
I'm really clumsy, so I don't even try.
I This has been a couple years for me. So yeah, my weekend was pretty good too. Don't even remember how it happened, except that I did get the call for jury duty tomorrow, so that sucks, and is way shorter than each of the last 2 weekends. So I kept thinking that it was like Friday when actually it was already Saturday night, and that makes me sad. Also, my visual aid for the week, I got me a Google Cardboard.
You didn't get the Star Wars theme one,
Oh
though.
yeah. No, I did
What
not get
the hell is that?
This is VR, baby. Oh yeah, the future.
That is what?
Have you not seen that before? Yeah, it's
Have you not
just
seen it?
It's
So
a cardboard box that you're putting
is-
on your
I
head.
put my phone in the cardboard, and then I use the app. You see my sweet case? Ooh. You put the phone in there, and then you use their app, and then you get some like really basic 3D, probably motion sickness making content.
it's actually
And
pretty good. I mean,
this
if you haven't
thing's
used it
like
yet,
It's a cardboard box.
with a magnet. It's a box with a magnet.
I broke my magnet. I accidentally
You
dropped the magnet. It
freaking
hit the ground and it broke
idiot.
in half. I know. I don't even know what the magnet's for because theoretically it's to keep it down, to keep it together. But this one came with some tape, so I bought it off Amazon for.
Well, it's also part of the
$10.
interacting part of it. You'll see when you put the phone in and do it. Like it's the only switch you have to tell the phone to do stuff is the magnet.
How does my phone know how to do that?
Just try. Trust me. It's magic.
It's a cardboard box.
Yeah.
No. There's also lenses.
No, it's a cardboard box.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you also have two cans in string? Is that how you're doing the podcast?
Basically.
I mean, you've been on this podcast before. That's basically what we're doing.
I'm surprised.
Oh,
you
I
didn't
mainlined a
string.
television show. That's why I have no idea what day it is. Okay, I feel bad.
What?
I
Huh?
did not. Yeah, when you asked me how my weekend was, and I had no idea what the hell day it was, it's because I mainlined the end of a TV show in
What show?
6 Everett. Haven.
Oh, nice.
That no one likes but
still
me.
haven't gotten past the first episode.
That, yeah. Try a little faith.
All right, so let's get into this main topic situation here. Star Wars came out, and we all saw it a while ago. When did you guys see it?
Oh, I saw it twice opening weekend.
Okay,
I
saw
saw
it
it-
Tuesday after opening.
I saw it the Thursday, like the first available showing at 7:00.
Have you seen it since then?
No, I have not. I was planning on going multiple times, but I have no really desire to go see multiple times now after seeing it the first
Oh
time.
no, that's a spoiler for the rest of the podcast. So I got nothing. I don't know how to host this thing. How did you feel about it, Core? Obviously, you have feelings.
I thought it was okay. I mean, I liked it better than any of the prequel movies, but it wasn't.
It's a
I mean,
real high bar.
yeah, it was fine. Like if you haven't seen it, go see it. But I'm not, I'm not overwhelmed and need to go back and watch it again. It was okay.
That's kind of sad. Sad.
I know. I'm very sad.
That's kind of how I felt after the first ones, or the prequels. Oh my god, I got to get my terminology right. After the prequels.
We can just go by numbers because that'll make it easier. Just like call them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7.
Because it's definitely Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi.
Okay. So we'll go by that.
Yeah, I don't know. How about you, Arrow? What'd you think?
I loved it so much I cried.
I also
Okay.
cried.
That's you don't have to make fun of me. I know you have.
I
my
know, I
feelings.
seriously cried.
It was so important to me as a lifelong fan to finally feel like I belonged. Because not only do we have the Chosen One as a woman, there were lady pilots in the Resistance, there were lady agents in the First Order, working techs and all that, there were lady stormtroopers, and it was amazing.
Yeah, all of that is awesome, and I didn't even have the additional not feeling like I belonged part before.
Yeah, I can't argue that at all. The originals didn't have enough women, and even like they didn't have them in the Empire because the Emperor was anti-alien, anti-woman. But there was still like the entire other half of the galaxy that there were women in. Like they could have had them on the other side, so that was stupid. But Yeah, I can't argue with you at all on that arrow. That was definitely nice.
And I mean, no disrespect to Leia, who is, personal childhood hero, but everyone knows, I mean, I think they actually outright admitted it, the only reason why she was Luke's sister is because there was no other woman in the cast.
What about Mon Mothma?
That was the only other choice. And
Yeah, and she's in it for 30 seconds. Even though she is the leader, I guess that's nice. She's in it for one scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. I learned this week that there are deleted scenes from Star Wars from A New Hope with lady pilots, and they all got cut.
Mm-hmm.
And I never knew that before, and I'm sad that it wasn't, that they didn't make it, since there was a lot of those little pilot scenes that didn't need to be men. So.
And they weren't in this movie, and that's so important to me, and it's so important to me both as myself and as a parent of 2 daughters. That this is something I can give my children that, I mean, they'll belong from the beginning, and that's so lovely.
Right, and even with my son, I'm glad that he will see that it's not just men saving the galaxy all the time, right?
Right.
That's
forever.
That's really good. Yeah, I think that's really good. My overall impression was fairly mixed. I think at one point after the first sort of the whole thing on Jakku, and the Falcon taking off and flying, I think I turned to Talon and I pretty much said, this is the best movie I've ever seen. And it's I didn't feel that way at the end, but at the time it was like I had already heard that there were good reviews, right? That people liked it, and I was still nervous because I really wanted it to be good, and for me it basically was exactly the Star Wars movie I've wanted to see for 25 years, or 25, 30. I don't know, for a long
Since
time.
when?
Probably 20 years, certainly since the prequels, so all 15. It was the next Star Wars movie that I wanted to see after Jedi, basically. And just it felt like Star Wars in a way that the prequels really didn't. And I mean, I know that there are plenty of excuses why for even just the lighting and the cinematography in the prequels being the way that it was, and everything feeling sort of clean and bright, but I'm just glad that this movie was not like that. It's sort of, I think we talked about it, it's the difference between Star Trek and Star Wars for me. I mean, one of the differences, right, is just Star Trek.
You need some grimy sand everywhere.
Yeah, totally, and you need
But it gets everywhere, and
Falcon to break.
Hate it.
It gets everywhere. Oh my god. Yeah.
Amazing.
I had a bunch of friends who went back and watched the prequels going into the movie. Although they watched some version that's on YouTube that apparently has Jar Jar not say a word in English, cut out most of the racist aliens, un-CGI's a couple of things maybe, or just cut stuff. I don't really know. And they said that even then it was just bad, but at least that way they could refresh themselves on story.
Sure.
So I'm tempted to do that, but I really don't want to go back and remember anything about those movies.
Man, see, I can't. I can make a lot of excuses for the prequels, and I can point out a lot of things that were done decently well. But I am still so angry with the end of Revenge of the Sith, because the retcon. Leia remembers her mother. She talks about it. That's why Luke asked her about it. So how could she die when they were born?
Oh,
Super
yeah, that's a
distressing
good
to me.
point.
There are so many things wrong with that. And guess what? That's canon. She both remembers, and that she saw her for 3 seconds as an infant and then was taken away. That's both things. That's
Maybe
real.
she Force remembers her mother.
Maybe.
Also, the whole. So I thought well, I don't know. I don't know how we really want to do it. We didn't really talk about how we want to go through this, or if we want to do it.
I think we should just talk. That
Okay.
is usually how we do best.
Fair enough. So, did I know they ditched the stupid Force aliens in your bloodstream thing, or just
Not necessarily. They just don't talk about it.
well,
They don't talk about it, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So they're trying to ignore it, at least in this movie.
Not necessarily. I mean, force sensitivity is still genetic.
Okay, fair enough.
Well,
So,
it can be.
It
I mean,
can be, sure.
do you guys have? Okay,
are you
I
about to
thought-
ask if there are theories? Because
I have
We can do
lots of
theories
theories,
first.
and
Go on your theories, sure.
it's important to do theories, right? Yeah, we can just mix it in. But like, no, I wanted to ask about. I don't know. I've been talking a lot about shitty stuff from the prequels.
mhm.
Can
Can we talk about? You want to talk about some good stuff from the prequels? Because I would like. Hold on. One of the problems I had with The Force Awakens is that I didn't think the score was very good. And it turns out that the reason why the score wasn't very good, and I mean, no, not that I don't like the original themes. I mean, when the strains of Leia's theme started playing, I got a little choked up. I'm not even going to lie.
Sure.
But there was nothing new, and it turns out that's because that's what
Because it was on
Abrams
purpose.
asked for.
Yeah.
That was on purpose, and that made me sad because I maintain that Duel of the Fates is the best piece of Star Wars music ever.
That's interesting. I didn't even really notice that.
I notice music all the time.
I couldn't stop noticing that, and it wasn't just because of the music itself. It was because every scene was a replicate of another Star Wars scene. So the fact that the music was also the exact same, like,
Yeah,
it was slapped me in the face.
Right. So the theme, the main themes for the characters and the replication of the original movie, or yeah, of Star Wars. Yeah, I mean that part I got for sure, but like not the like. I mean, there's a lot of background music in the movies, the other
Yeah.
movies. Probably this one too, but I just
Yeah, I mean, they did have like an original new song in the new cantina scene, so like there wasn't no new original music, but the vast majority was just the main primary ones.
Like, Rey had her own theme, and I really liked it, but it wasn't played nearly enough. What I liked about it is that it used the same chord progression as Luke's theme, the Binary Sunset, which is yet another fairly obvious clue.
daughter.
Oh, she's got to be.
She's got to be.
And that's awesome.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't actually care that much, but I've heard some people talking about how they really don't want it to be another Skywalker, even though the sort of main stories are totally the Skywalker saga, right? Like,
Right, and it's all based on there's prophecy and everything is, force sensitivity is genetically inherited.
Right.
So it makes sense, and I'm so glad it's her and not a son.
Well, I mean, also, like, the entire movie is about chasing down Luke Skywalker, so of course it's going to be Skywalker themed for her as well, right?
Right. According to the...
not if he's like the Obi-Wan character of this movie.
Well, I don't see why he can't be both.
I mean,
yeah.
Han was already sort of the Obi-Wan character of this movie, so...
I mean, there was just too much stuff, like the lightsaber calling to her, which I don't understand how that worked. That's obviously, like, there's some blood tie there, and Kylo being trained for a decade, maybe more, in Force stuff techniques, and then not being able to pick up a lightsaber out of the snow when she could take it to herself. So, like, they're trying to make it seem like there's, like, a blood tie between the lightsaber, where maybe it skipped over because it went to Luke.
That crystal is very particular, though. That is a super old crystal with its own story.
You and I talked about this.
Yeah.
Like, Luke used it, but Kylo is also Anakin's grandfather. Or
no,
the other way around.
It's interesting.
Like, Anakin's grandfather. So, like, there's also a relation there. So they're really pushing it like she's like there's got to be something there. She can't just be like a random person.
Right. One thing that I particularly liked is that it appears that they're going. One of the EU things that they pulled in is the idea of Force gifts. Meaning anything that a regular Jedi can't normally learn to do.
Right, like Vader was really good at energy absorption. the guy that I like to use my name off of, Corranhorn, had terrible telekinesis skills, but was really good at like doing mind alter kind of stuff. So like people have strengths and weaknesses. Like they did, maybe they pulled that in. It seems like too, because
Right, because it seemed like Rey, like the Kylo Ren's mental hoodoo, that's not normal. Even for someone with Sith training, someone like Palpatine, that's the stuff that he can do is not usual. And Rey appears to be able to see the Force and reverse engineer things. Because everything that she did, there were a lot of complaints from Dude Bros whining that it was a vagina, that she was doing too much for someone with no training. But everything she did was after someone else did it.
I don't know. I still think that's a valid complaint, even if she was a dude. If you want to go with that, like you can't.
The internet would not have complained so much if she were a dude.
Okay, well that's no bearing for me, and you know that.
I know.
But I still think that anybody with no training at all, like, okay, let's not use her for Force things. Let's go with Finn. Yeah, he's a trained fighter, right? So he knows how to fight, but he picks a lightsaber up and can immediately fight as well as someone who's got a decade's worth of training with a lightsaber. Like,
I don't think so. I think, well, what was going on? Please remember also that he had just been shot in the gut with a bowcaster.
Yeah,
the fact that he was still walking at all was seriously impressive.
When he got shot, he got shot and he stood there like they show other people getting hit by that thing and get blown back like dozens of feet, and he doesn't even move. Like, so obviously, it didn't hit him that hard.
I don't think it wasn't that it didn't hit him that hard. I think that dude is fucked up in many ways. And that, I mean, yeah, no, it's not that Finn was fighting as well as he was. He's obviously been trained on a vibro sword because he recognized it when someone, and vibro swords were designed to counter lightsabers. Sure. That's the point of them. So if he knows how to use a vibro sword, he knows the basics of how to swing a lightsaber, which is what he was doing.
Do you think random stormtrooper in the originals could have fought Luke with a vibro sword if he'd been trained on it? Like, it doesn't seem... He's a janitor. He's not like an elite fighter.
No, but he is.
No, he still went through the same training. He just happened to be assigned to sanitation.
That's right, and he's still part of like the Captain Phasma's squad, which they made a big deal of, even if she was kind of weird as a character, right? I mean, like they make a big deal that like her squad is an elite squad, and it's all, you know, it's all normals and not clones and stuff like that.
Right.
But so I mean, clearly it's a squad that is trained. So I don't necessarily think that. I mean, that like this person can do random shit that they shouldn't be able to do. I mean, that's no different than certainly any other Star Wars movie. I mean,
no, you're right. It's just
like,
there was so many things. Like,
Luke was a pilot on Tatooine, sure, but he was like driving speeders and shit. And then, like, you know, 6 weeks later, he's leading the run on the Death Star. I mean, or participating in the run on the Death Star in an X-wing. I mean, that's like saying that if I can fly a remote control airplane, then like, you know, I can jump in the seat of an F-16 and.
Well, Luke, in defense, Luke was good enough to get admission to the Imperial Piloting Academy. But he just wasn't allowed to go.
But he hadn't been through the Imperial Piloting.
No, but you have to be good enough to get there. So there's that.
I don't know. I mean, I just think there's a lot of stuff that that people did for the first time in Star
fantasy Wars heroes.
Right.
They do. They get crazy powers, using the Force.
That's how it works.
Yeah. The whole thing for me, right, is like, I mean, it's basically a myth, right? It's basically a modern myth legend, and you're allowed to stretch the truth to basically tell your, you know, your parable. And I think that's
your cycle of the hero, yeah.
Yeah, well, right, yeah, exactly. But so I didn't actually mind that too much, and I also didn't mind the fact that it was a really, really, really direct call to A New Hope. I just didn't mind that because in some ways this is almost a rebooting, which like, I mean, it is, right? And then it's the only way they can transfer these stories onto new characters.
Sure, and I know I'm complaining about like a lot of the repeat stuff, it didn't bother me like a huge amount. There's other things that bothered me more than that. Like the
Sure.
repeat thing is like it's fine. That's why the movie was still good. I'm just hoping they don't do it for all three. Like if it's
Yeah,
a
that was
mirror
how
of
Yeah,
both,
I'm,
that
that
was
would
how I came out. I don't want the second movie to be Empire and the third movie to be Jedi. Even if they're
I got
like,
a very strong feeling that they were deliberately doing those callbacks in order to, I don't want to say damage control, but more like, hey, look, we promise it's not going to be like it was before. See here, look at all
well,
the things we're giving you.
yeah.
And
yeah,
then
no,
they won't do that
right,
for
right.
8 and 9.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the writer of 8 and 9 is oh my god, I forgot his name. He's the guy who wrote Brick and Looper.
Ugh.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting and we'll see and weird
You can
and
write papers about how much I hated Looper.
Did this happen? Did this happen in your guys' showings as well? That every time a character came up or a repeat scene like the cantina or the trench or whatever, everyone in the audience started screaming so you couldn't hear the movie?
no.
No, we did get applause, but we didn't have anyone rude.
Yeah,
Everyone was super respectful.
my entire theater would be like, "Woo!" Because like the entire movie was just like, "Hey, here's R2, here's C-3PO, here's Akbar, here's a cantina scene, here's the Falcon, here's a desert planet." Like every time
Here's
anything
Nia Nub
familiar,
for no reason.
anytime anything familiar popped up, the
Uh,
entire crowd like lost their shit.
Yeah, that could be frustrating. I mean, like, no, that's that. So I saw it at a midday showing on a Tuesday. Um, so it was and there were a bunch of people from a work party. I was basically joining on a work party. And I saw it on one of those dome IMAX theaters, but in
Okay.
2D. So the sound was super huge and loud, and I couldn't see all the corners. And I wanted to see it in like a proper rectangle at some point. But we had cheers, I think, when Han and Chewie showed up, and probably Leia, but that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
So,
that's definitely part of the experience for me was having to deal with that. Like every time, obviously JJ put some things in there to, like you said, kind of set it up, reboot
Yeah.
the thing, kind of get everyone in the same mindset, and the fact that every 3 to 4 minutes, like people were just acknowledging openly that's all they cared about was just seeing the same thing they already knew, like didn't help. So
yeah,
perhaps my experience is kind of like coloring my review of the movie.
yeah. I mean, I'm kind of like I have issues with J.J. Abrams and stuff like that anyway. Having watched almost everything he's done, uh, he's very happy to do fan service, and he's very happy to um, just sort of do similar things to what he's already done again. So I don't know that that's bad, but I can totally see that kind of experience definitely negatively coloring my impression of the movie.
Oh yeah, a bad movie going experience would
Yeah.
absolutely destroy my feeling about a movie.
So how did you feel about Maz? Maz, is that her name? The little the alien.
Mascanada?
Yeah, yeah.
I am interested in her ideas and wish to subscribe to her newsletter.
Yeah, I thought she was pretty cool, and I kind of really want them to say how she got Anakin's
Oh, they
saber.
did.
So they
It's
they
in
did
the it's in the
externally.
novelization.
Okay.
Yeah,
Her force gift is artifacts,
right.
so
So
she can
she-
sense artifacts.
So did she like skydive into Bespin and go hunting for it, or
It was caught in the trash chute and didn't actually leave the.
for real?
Yeah.
I could have sworn. Okay.
No, I think that's the extended universe version. I don't the trash chute. She basically like she did she basically could sense the thing from around, and she's a artifact collector, right? So she
Right.
goes around, and she's force sensitive, obviously, but not Jedi for various reasons. And she basically was drawn to Bespin and then found it. I don't know that. I don't know. Did you read the novelization, Arrow?
Yes,
Oh, okay, I did not. I'm
I can
interested.
hook you up.
Yeah, there's also a data, there's like an art or something guide
Yes,
that a
the
bunch
visual
has.
guide. It's
Yeah,
awesome. It's got details on the construction of Kylo Ren's lightsaber and the formation of the Knights of Ren.
yeah. See, all that's cool, and like, there's a lot of stuff that they directly reference, but don't tell you the first thing about, and seem like they're important. Like the old dude at the beginning, um, who is part of the credit scroll.
Max von Sydow?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he doesn't seem very interested. I mean, like it's like they built it up like going to see him, and he has the plans to Luke, and that makes no fucking sense. And then he's dead, and nobody knows who he is or why he's Leia's old friend or how he's the one dude who knows how to find Luke in the universe full of computers where they can send messages.
Apparently, even in hyperspace, they can send messages to each other, but
Well, it turns out that Luke is not on Tython. It's another planet that I haven't heard of. I don't know if he's maybe not made it all the way back to Tython yet, but it is canonical that planets with huge central force-ness vanish from the hyperspace routes.
yeah, and that's I wasn't bothered
And
by
I can
that
buy
at all.
that.
But I can totally buy like, hey, you forgot where a planet is. You know, you find it 10,000 years ago, no one lives there. Like, why would you remember it? The thing I
Because
didn't
you
buy
have
was
computer charts.
the thing I
No,
didn't
they
didn't
wipe
buy
out
was
the
like
computer
they build a chart up inside the Falcon, and there's dozens, scores, hundreds of objects, planets, stars, whatever. They've got names, they've got details. So they don't know where the one is that Luke's at. Totally fine. But there's those hundreds of other ones they can't kind of triangulate.
Or like that little square cutout or rectangle, that little cutout that the projector
Yeah.
fits perfectly into. It's like, well, we know all about the rest of the universe, and we know he's not there. So
And there's this giant chunk. It's somewhere in there. Maybe we
Yeah.
can use some computers to figure out how to get there. Like, you can't map a new hyperspace lane. Like, oh, only the ones that were mapped 30,000 years ago we can use. You can't make any new ones.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
I'm sure they have their reasons.
So I
forget-
totally bought, like, hey, we didn't know what it was. Like, sweet. That
Yeah.
makes sense. But not being able to figure out how to get there, like, at all.
When you have all of the map except that one tiny point. Yeah,
That's probably a. I actually bet that's gonna be the new parsecs thing, uh, where they're gonna have some indication that it's just a visualization of exactly what you said, which is like these are all the places we know how to get to, and this is an area we don't know how to get to. Sort of.
Yeah, but so like you said though,
visualization
you've
like
got
it.
fucking computers. Like, have an app computer try to figure out how to get there. You've got all these astrological bodies with gravity wells. Figure out how to get around them. Like, maybe it's more than one jump.
Yeah.
And they don't even honor the whole gravity well thing in this movie. Han and Chewie jump to a planet within like an inch of it when they were kicked out miles before from the gravity. So like they don't even honor gravity wells knocking you out of hyperspace. So what's the problem? Just jump there.
Yeah.
I can suspend my disbelief.
Yeah, I mean yeah.
The Force does weird shit to nav systems.
I mean, it is.
We know that.
It is literal
that's-
magic.
That's funny because I don't know, was it the Rataka or the Celestials that like invented hyperspace travel through the Force?
The Rakata.
Rakata?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No,
So,
the
like-
Celestials did it through the Force. The Rakata did something else.
Well, they like
Some
Back
kind
when
of
they, like-
Mass Effect thing.
yeah, and they like back what is it? Whatever. The Celestials did it through the Force, and then like whoever had them, like all the slaves and stuff, just like backward engineered to make new ones, like, and that's how they have hyperspace drives now.
Right, but the Rakata wiped everything that they did.
Yeah,
because
but that's like
they were selfish assholes.
So does that mean that nobody can make a new hyperspace drive?
Oh, they do it all
Correct.
the time.
Well, they can't make it work in a new way.
No, yeah, but it's like they can keep making them. They just backward engineer it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like having
Rakata
Independence Day.
not nice.
Right.
Huge
It's like
dicks.
yeah, wasn't the Douglas Adams drive sort of like that too? Like if you it was like a Schrodinger's cat situation, or if you understood it, then you just forgot everything.
T and no T. No, seriously. You had to understand being able to hold T and no T at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
You bring up Douglas Adams, I bring up strange quotes. Yeah. But hey, the most important thing about this movie is that both Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 are officially canon.
Yes.
Aspects of them.
Aspects of them, and it's not like in the movie itself. It's in that extra stuff you pointed
Right.
out, like where the Knights of Ren come from and stuff.
Right, but it's important to me.
Yeah,
Again.
It's actually really interesting, and
Important Lady Jedi.
right. Well, same thing going on with actually the Old Republic MMO, right? Like it's weird. It would be weird if uh, a current product didn't fit into canon somehow.
They still do Legend stories all the time, but I mean that's not. It's since it's so far ago,
Right.
they're basically
It doesn't-
letting
yeah.
it.
There's not really enough effect on the current stuff to make it worth non-canonizing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Fair enough. So okay. So what did you guys think of Kylo Ren? Because I have strong feelings about him.
I
I actually liked him.
I think he's so terrific and amazing. What a great villain.
He was obviously he's obviously like fucked up in the head a little bit, but that's fine because he's a villain and he's a person and like whatever. But like I actually really liked it a lot.
I bought him as an actual person because aside from the space wizard magic, everyone knows that guy. Everyone. Right? I mean, especially, all the ladies in the house, please hands up. You know that guy. That guy has tried to pick you up and gotten really pissed when you said no.
I guess maybe I didn't like him very much.
What about
you're
him
not
did you not
supposed
like?
to like him.
Well, I mean, like, yeah. So
I thought he was like not badass.
That's
he
the
stops a blast
I
of
know-
bolts in the air with his hand.
Okay, so right, so they
That's
set
pretty
him up
badass.
as a badass, and then when he doesn't get his way, he throws temper tantrums. And...
Yup. Dark side is a motherfucker.
Except Vader didn't do that shit. Vader was just like, I will destroy you.
Anakin sure did.
Yeah, did you watch
But
the
Anakin
prequels?
sucks, and Vader is awesome. So
No, Anakin does not suck. The Clone Wars is pretty great.
all right, well, I have not watched the Clone Wars.
You need to watch the Clone Wars and pretend the prequels don't exist. Treat the Clone Wars as the actual prequels. Because there Anakin gets some serious depth, and actually the relationship between Anakin and Padme is awesome and not terrifying.
The dialogue's pretty terrifying, though.
In the Clone Wars? It's pretty good, actually.
Their romantic dialogue is...
Oh, well, their romantic dialogue is...
That's what I mean.
Well, it's awkward, but it's not nearly as skeevy as, by the way, we met when I was 9 and you were 14.
Yeah, but they're like in their 20s now, whatever. It's just a number, it's fine.
Yeah, but anyway, the Clone Wars is really good, and it's way better than the prequels.
I don't even dispute that because the ones that I've seen are awesome, and
Also, Rebels so good, so very, very good.
well, regardless, the Anakin from the prequels also sucked, and in similar ways to Kylo.
Yes.
And I guess that was frustrating to me because I really wanted to see Kylo Ren be like scary and terrifying, and didn't even seem like his own people.
Oh, dude. Okay, again. He's fucking terrifying. He's capital N, capital G, nice guy, date rapist.
So wait,
He is the most terrifying villain I have seen in Star Wars.
Okay, but
Ellie, if you wanted to see Vader again, just watch the originals. Like, why would you want to watch the same
I
character
know
in
I
the
don't
movie?
want to see exactly Vader again, and Arrow, your point's not lost. I mean, that is a perspective thing for sure, right? And like, I got that vibe, and I think that's probably part of why I did not like him at all. And like, it's not like so Vader was scary and bad guy, but when I say likable, I don't mean like I would be this guy's friend. It's more like it's enjoyable to watch this on screen, and I didn't really. I just like the temper tantrum-y stuff was like a little hard to watch, I guess is my point.
The stormtroopers noping out of his temper tantrum, though, that was my favorite scene in the movie.
I like that scene too, but it didn't make me think that he was badass. It made me think like
The fact that he got gut shot by a bowcaster and continued to fight, and in fact kept hitting himself in the wound to get more pain to fuel his rage. Awesome. How can you not see that as badass?
Well, it was badass, but apparently it wasn't effective.
Oh, okay.
because
Well, he
we all know
wasn't
what happened to
falling
him.
down.
Yeah.
And the only thing that ended that fight was, actual physical topography.
Right. Yeah, sure. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think they may be doing. They may want to see. Maybe there will be some growth to his character over the movies too, in a way that I didn't. I mean, Vader clearly comes around on Luke and stuff, but like he didn't really like change as a character through from the first one to the third one. Um, he gets, he's just sort of always the scary black mask guy, right? I'm hoping maybe that Kylo Ren, for me, um, becomes more of a interesting villain rather than just like a guy that I don't want to have anybody I know ever have to interact with. Which is different, right? I mean, it's different. I don't
So
know.
I have a question on this topic still, sort of, and it has
Mhm.
to do with his appearance. A lot of people, not me, I didn't really care. I thought it was fine because I'll get to that in a second. A lot of people said that he looked too clean, too pretty to be like a dark side user. He didn't look evil enough when he had his mask off.
Oh, I think that's actually super important.
But the Emperor, until he gets lightning bolted, looks like a normal dude. Like he doesn't look demonic or evil. Evil doesn't look evil. That's kind of how the world works.
Hmm.
So I didn't think that was a huge deal for me. And a lot of the EU characters that are dark side users aren't corrupted by the dark side. They look completely normal. Like they're not. There's no outward manifestation of their evilness. Like
Right. I
any of them
mean,
really. Like none of them
even
really look
like yeah,
mutilated or anything like that. So
like Darth Maul was all his skin was all nice.
yeah, well that's just what his species looks like. They
Yeah,
just
he's a Zabrak.
Yeah. No,
They just
yeah,
have
right,
cool face
exactly.
paint. Like they all have horns. That's what Zabraks wear or Zabraks are. And none of like any of Luke's non-canon students that turned like look mutilated. The person who kind of switches Jason Solo to the dark side didn't look evil. Jason didn't look evil apparently after he turned. I didn't really see that as a big deal.
No.
Like having a physical manifestation of your innerness there.
Yeah, it seems to be really hit or miss, even in the EU, whether or not you've got physical manifestation of dark side corruption.
Mm.
Usually the eyes go, regardless, unless you take steps to avoid it. Which, I mean, some people do, because why would you advertise that
Right.
unless you wanted to?
Right.
But the fact that he didn't, I found super interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing like an alternate mirror of Anakin's story, of him fighting the light side. I think that's an interesting dynamic that we haven't seen in these films before.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think if they do that kind of thing with him, maybe it would be interesting. Also, maybe if I don't know, like I said, it's been a couple weeks since I saw it at this point, and so some of the details have like gone a little bit, and the things that are left are the like fact that like, yeah, he seemed like a creepy date rapist more than a
Yeah.
Sith Lord.
Well, he's not a Sith Lord.
Not a Sith Lord, yeah.
Well, right, sure. I guess that's the thing, right? Like he's not a Sith Lord, and hopefully they'll show his trajectory to that. Either
Yeah,
that,
he's
or they'll redeem him early. Like one of the theories I heard was that they will try and redeem him early, like in the next movie, um, and then
you think that Leia would really like think after he murdered his dad that he was still redeemable? That doesn't seem like a really good sign for that.
She's believed everyone is redeemable. I
yeah,
Well,
mean,
that's
the reason why she hasn't had serious force training is because she recognizes the potential for the dark side in herself.
I'm sad she didn't get trained in this version because she gets trained in the books and it's way more fun that way.
It is, but I like this too. I like her. One of the things I like about her as a character is that she recognizes her own weaknesses
yeah,
and
and her role, right? Like
and her strengths, and she takes steps to,
absolutely.
and it's awesome, and she makes my heart happy.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you guys like how do you have theories about anything that is
Other than Rey being a Skywalker.
other than Rey being a Skywalker?
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure. I mean, I've heard theorizing of Rey being a Skywalker. I've heard theorizing of Rey being Obi-Wan's granddaughter. Um, I've heard like lots of random shit. Like,
Yeah,
things
there's been
people
lots
don't
of
know.
shit.
Who would have Obi-Wan's baby mama have been, since they never have shown
Asajj Ventress.
Unclear. I don't know. I mean, like, there's the EU also has some stuff about Jedi not fraternizing. Um, and
Well, yeah, but a lot of them do. Like,
right,
Yeah.
a lot of them they clearly get busy.
there's a Carillion family that has like hundreds of years, chains of generations of
Yeah,
Jedi.
it's
They're
also,
like, yeah, it's freaking.
it doesn't make any sense, right? Because it's basically a genetic disorder that you're force sensitive, and so somebody's sleeping with somebody, and it's not all dark side users.
No.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's um, I'm curious how Rey ended up on that planet. Um, and I'm curious if
Well,
she.
now that you mention it,
We have a theory on that. Arrow, do
we
you want
have
to
a
go
theory
through
on
this?
that. Okay, so actually, first I want to talk about my pet theory. My personal favorite pet theory right now is that John Boyega and Daisy Ridley are from the same basic part of London, and yet John Boyega was directed to use an American dialect, and Daisy Ridley was not. So what
Yeah, so I
that
wanted
means
to know
is
about
that
this.
regardless of who her father is, her mother, well, even if Luke is her father, her mother was Imperial. That can't be accidental for her to have used her
Or
accent.
her mother's from the capital. She doesn't have to be Imperial.
Well, okay, yeah, but what I'm hoping this means is that we'll kind of slantwise get a sorta kind of Mara Jade.
Yeah, so okay, so speaking of that, I had a coworker who went back and watched it again, and he's convinced that Luke, when he's standing on that cliff, is standing over a grave, and he was like, "I think it's Mara Jade's grave," and I told him that he was wrong because Mara Jade doesn't exist in this universe. Basically
Wow, you are a douchebag.
but I mean,
Well, they're not pulling anything directly from the EU. I mean, like, because they gave us Jason Solo, only they renamed him.
Only they renamed him Ben, who was Luke's old kid. But his
Right,
name was
exactly. So I'm hoping, the reason why I'm hoping that we kind of sort of get Mara Jade is not just because Mara Jade is awesome, because she is, and she deserved way better than they gave her, because she does.
Yeah.
But because that gives us a whole lot of cool backstory information on things like the Emperor's Hand and the way modern Sithness works and that kind of stuff. And that's what I would like to see.
Emperor's Hand, another dark side user that doesn't look like shit.
Exactly. Well, she works on that, though. I mean,
Yeah,
she actively prevents that.
Sure.
Okay, so theory about how she ended up on Jakku is that we've seen in the movie already that Kylo Ren killing family makes him sad, and if she's Luke's daughter and she was 5, when he goes and kills everybody else, he doesn't want to kill his 5-year-old baby cousin. Sad face, little emo man tears, no.
Right.
So, and he's got the mental hooju, so I'm thinking that he mind wiped her and took her. And
Yeah. Go ahead, sorry. Finish up.
the mind wipe means he could tell Snoke that she was taken care of without having to kill her. And he probably expected to come back for her as soon as he had the opportunity to train her himself and have his own badass apprentice. When he was all confident and comfortable in his dark side and grr the light, you know.
And that would make sense for her not understanding who Luke, who Luke was, other than like.
Right. How could
person,
anyone in the
how could
world
she
not know who Luke
Right,
is?
or like the Jedi were like fake and that kind of thing. When I first was throwing I was like, oh yeah, she's Skywalker's kid. Like, well then she would know her dad is Luke Skywalker, and she'd know at least what Jedi would exist. Like you know your dad's name when you're 5.
So why doesn't Luke go look for her?
Because
So
he can't. I
he's on his
assume.
little questy quest, and maybe he doesn't know where she is. Maybe Kylo and the Knights of Ren took her, kind of like a kidnap situation.
That's what I'm
Didn't
thinking.
he go after her? I mean, like Luke.
Not if he was trying to
Busy
save.
doing something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I mean, then that just makes him a terrible father.
Not necessarily. But yeah, I mean, Luke is bad at shit. That's another great thing in the EU.
And, you know, Han and Leia not recognizing her, it's been 15 years, maybe, you know, maybe I don't recognize her, maybe she's changed since then.
Some people are trying to say that she and Kylo Ren are twins, and yet Leia doesn't know her. No, I'm sorry.
And
I've
they're
had
not
two
the same
children.
age.
You know when something else is removed from your body.
I guess
They're not the same age.
Yeah.
He goes to a Jedi Academy a dozen or 15 or 20 however many years before this. She's like 20 years old. Like, how are they gonna be fucking twins?
So did Leia not recognize her specifically?
She does not appear to, and it doesn't.
Neither didn't appear to recognize her at all, or mention like, "Oh, good to see you." Like,
yeah, but that could still be intentional. I mean, it seems like they're at the time when that.
It doesn't. That doesn't seem like a Leia thing to do to me, because what purpose would that serve?
Yeah, I mean, like,
because Leia doesn't do shit without a purpose
anymore. I mean, they're past the point where like it would make sense to like not tell her that, right? I mean, like,
yeah,
like especially if she's the only person they're sending to go find Luke. Oh, hey, by the way,
you should know.
You should know it's your dad. So they must not recognize her if they're family, because there's no reasonable explanation for them.
Or if it's Han and Leia's kid. Too.
No, there's no way.
Well, there's no explanation for that possibly working.
Yeah,
so
there's
unless
no way.
like Luke has a secret wife and they never met her, and then somehow Kylo knows he has a cousin, like that. Yeah. But that's what Arrow and I think, and I think that's actually probably a pretty solid theory, is like the cousins and memory wipe, him not wanting to be able to kill family quite yet.
And also, she's left with giant CGI Simon Pegg.
Yep.
Who then, that makes sense for...
No, he was wearing a suit.
No, giant CGI Simon Pegg?
I saw Simon Pegg in the suit on a set picture.
Yeah, he's giant CGI Simon Pegg, the scrap peddler guy.
Yeah, but he's not all CGI.
Are you serious? Is that what you're gonna... no, okay, stop. I don't remember the dude's name, alright? Giant CGI Simon Pegg.
Alright, he can be called that, that's fine.
So she's left with him when she's 5. And then he knows, he recognizes that droid, so, at the beginning. BB-8, I mean.
But that's not...
Do you think he recognized
that's not her droid, though.
Do you think
no,
he recognized
but...
the droid, or do you think he just thought it was a...
Wait, why would he recognize the droid? The droid would never have been there before. It's not Kylo's droid.
Because the First Order has sent out an APB for this droid.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant specifically like recognized him previously, not from the APB. Got it.
No. So, but that was First Order intel, and he's got, or Republic intel, and there's no, or not Republic, Resistance. Because we know that there's been that APB out to both sides when they get into Maz Kanata's cantina.
Right.
And there's the Resistance droid and the First Order spy.
Yeah, and I mean, it's highly likely that like when they went back down to look back down to Jakku to look for them, that they would have said that, right? That they would have sent out.
Right, but they didn't send out a planetary APB because no one else around there, who assumedly is on the hunt for mechanical things to get, wants him for anything more than parts. Whereas giant CGI Simon Pegg knows what that droid is and tries to get it, and then wants to get it without hurting Rey. I think that's important, and I think that's why he freaks out, because if anything bad happens to Rey, when, terrifying nice guy date rapist, the Sith Lord, comes and finds out, what have you done to my baby cousin, who is supposed to be my badass apprentice, he knows he's a dead man. A dead giant CGI Simon Pegg.
It's interesting. I like that theory. I like that theory a lot. I'm gonna adopt that as my working theory because it's sweet.
I don't know.
I don't have a problem if Rey is related to another Skywalker. I think that makes reasonable sense, except that Obi-Wan talked to her through the lightsaber.
Yeah, but Obi-Wan is a Force ghost. We know that.
I mean, Obi-Wan talks to Luke, too, and they're not related, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, true. I mean, maybe he's just attached to the lightsaber. That would make sense.
Or just... Well, he did help build it.
Yeah. So.
And also, he's connected to the Skywalkers through 3 generations. Well, 2. theoretically 3.
Right.
Well, he mentioned me, so at least 3.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. Anything else you guys are interested in talking about? I mean, like, there's a bunch of stupid shit, like we made a bigger, blacker Death Star.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, I don't
Like,
I don't like arguing the science of Star Wars because
no, you
it's
can't.
space magic.
Yeah.
Right. It's
So I
literal
don't
space
really
magic.
have the patience for that.
Yeah, it's more a question of just making more and more Death Stars, and
It doesn't make economic sense to build a planet into a weapon, but from a scientific standpoint, I don't have any thing I can argue because it's space magic, right?
Yeah.
So I was a little annoyed about about them not talking about the difference between the Republic and the Resistance.
Like, why is the Resistance there rather than the Republic fighting themselves? Yeah, that was
That's
kind of annoying.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
pretty
I
sure
know
there's a
that.
lot of cut scenes with that
Yeah,
information.
right. Apparently, there was about 20 minutes cut where Leia sends an envoy to the Republic,
Okay.
basically asking for help. Um,
That would have
you
been
know,
a good scene to have.
Yeah.
yeah, and that also happens before the Republic leaders get blown up, which would have made the scenes of the Republic leaders' planets blowing up, uh, make a little more sense too.
So,
And like,
question about that.
yeah,
Let's say the Republic leaders are gone. Okay. The Republic is thousands of planets, presumably.
They shift the capital every
They shift the
couple of years.
capital. They shift what I'm saying. They shift the capital after that accident, and then they mobilize their fleet and army and go attack the people that attacked them, right? Like, why would they just not do anything?
You'd think so. It's a
I think there just wasn't time.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that was not. I mean, if you've got to mobilize shit, if you've lost all of your sitting senators,
yeah.
it takes some time to mobilize the chain of command.
Well, sure, but let's say for this, let's say hypothetically something happens to the U.S. Congress. Like, well, there's still every state Congress has things like they can still do work. It's just not the federal government. Like, well, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and we have
each planets have governors and
chain of
stuff.
commands and stuff. I mean, it wouldn't necessarily be instantaneous, and maybe that stuff is happening, and we just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
The thing that is talked about in the side material that is not at all made clear in the movie is that the Resistance is basically everything you saw.
That's
the
it. Yeah. All they have now are
Resistance.
they've got 7 X-wings. That's
So
it.
the Resistance is very specifically Leia and her friends, sort of like
Her and retired Admiral Akbar or whatever.
yeah, basically it's like
And totally
their
random me a nub for no reason.
like
Yeah.
their militia.
Super surprised Lando Calrissian wasn't there. I guess Billy D. Williams
Billy
was
D.
busy.
probably was busy. Yeah.
Yeah, I expected him to actually beat the old friend on the planet right at the beginning.
They
Well, that
can't
would make
kill
sense.
Lando Calrissian.
Well, that would make
Well,
sense though, because then he would be like an actual friend.
Right. So, but yeah. So that's the whole Resistance, and the Resistance is just sort of like off doing its thing, and the First Order is off doing its thing, and the First Order is the Empire is still around. They're just like in sort of treaty sanctions, but apparently have been funneling money off to the First Order.
So I have a question about the side material since I didn't know this existed. In that cut stuff, did they talk about at all how the Resistance knows every single detail about a planet-sized weapon they've only seen from space?
That
Like how long it takes to charge the weapon, where it's firing.
I've heard some theories. I don't know if you have theories, Arrow.
I don't have theories, but I know that Greg Grunberg is the super great spy recon pilot with the super stealthy X-wing, and he does flybys and cameras and shit. I don't know.
Okay, so you have cameras, but how do you know every single technical aspect? Like how long it takes to
Don't-
charge, where it's
don't-
aimed at, how long it takes to fire.
The
where all
only
conduits are,
technical shit I can argue is lightsaber construction. The rest of it, Imperial shit, no, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't know. I got nothing.
So my working theory is
sense.
that there's a spy, that they have rebel spies, and one.
I hope they're Bothans.
Yeah, one of the theories I heard was actually that Captain Phasma is working with the Resistance, which is why she why she lowers the shields on the Star Killer. Is that what it's called?
I think
Yeah,
so.
which is Luke's original first last name.
The Star Killer
guys
And
know that?
Vader's other EU apprentice.
Yeah.
So
It's no longer an apprentice.
she lowered the shields really easily, and they sort of
Yeah.
like made her not nearly as badass as she seemed like she was supposed to be.
Yeah, it wasn't really like fighting it at all.
Yeah,
So maybe that's okay.
that was the working theory that I'd heard, but like I don't know. I've also heard that like, well, she's like basically handpicked these people and is super confident in them and basically overconfident to the point of being like, yeah, you can lower the shields, but my people will kill you before it matters.
I can see either of those things being viable.
Yeah. So I don't know. So you have a theory on why Finn or on why Rey has an accent. Do you have a theory on why Finn does not?
To set him apart from the other stormtroopers. Probably a signal for his breaking the mental conditioning.
Do the other stormtroopers have accents? I don't remember. I didn't catch
yes.
this part, so okay.
All of the ones that spoke did, particularly Stormtrooper JB007, which is my other favorite scene in the movie.
Is that Daniel Craig?
Yes.
Okay.
And seriously, in the script, he is call sign JB007.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice that, the accents thing. So
yeah, so
you've been stolen as a child and like conditioned and stuff. But see, okay, if you break your conditioning, you wouldn't change your accent. You'd still speak the same way you'd always spoken.
Yeah, but I don't know that he would change it there.
Accents are locked in when you're 6 or so.
I mean, you can lose them over time, sure, but if
I'm not saying he lost it right now. I'm saying that sets him apart.
Yeah, I mean, it does set him apart.
From a movie perspective.
From a movie perspective, sure.
And the fact that he's black, and I don't know whether that is still a thing with. You don't see anybody in the Empire. You don't see whether the Empire is multiracial or not.
The Empire, during the Empire time, like now, I don't know, but now, but previously it was all white dudes, because, like I said, Emperor hated anybody who wasn't a white dude.
Well, a lot of that, though, is explaining away.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is explaining
what was in the movies. It's not
in the 80s, right? Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, Django was non-white dude, so all the clones were non-white.
Yeah, but they only tolerated bounty hunters.
No, but I mean, like all the clones for the clone troops.
Fair enough.
Like they're all non-white, so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like it would be nice if it didn't matter and it was just like a dude, right?
Yeah.
Finn is probably also force sensitive. But
I got that impression that he was force sensitive, but not a badass. Right?
Well, you don't have to be a badass.
No, totally, and like not strong, right? Like not necessarily strong in the force, right? Like closer to the way they've played Leia throughout the movies, which is that in the movies, Leia is force sensitive and obviously can communicate, over distance with Luke and stuff and whatever, but she's not like actively.
There's degrees.
Powers.
Like,
yeah.
Right, and there are also different gifts, different kinds of Jedi.
Yeah.
I mean, in the Old Republic, you'd have I don't know, Jedi construction workers doing demolition and shit.
Right.
Or you had the people that kind of failed their trainings and they went to go to be Jedi farmers, which is a real thing.
Yes.
Also, I like that they had a side material explanation for why Kylo Ren's lightsaber not only looked the way it did, like a broadsword, but also the beam was crazy.
Motherfuckers using an actual red kyber crystal.
So when did the switch be that it had to be kyber crystals? 'Cause I don't remember the story being that it had to be specifically kyber crystals. Like you could use anything to do that. Any kind of
the power was always kyber.
Well, the power is just a power pack a lot of times in some of the lightsabers.
The force power was always a kyber crystal.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they didn't always have kyber crystals in some of the books. Like they just have different kinds of gems for focusing lenses.
Yeah, that changed it. Yeah, okay.
I don't know. The explanation for his is that it's cracked, right?
Yeah, that's what his is.
Yeah, and it's not synthetic. Red crystals are modern Sith frequently use synthetic crystals because they're super unstable. But that instability also gives it more power.
Interesting.
And that's what he's doing. He's
So that's why it's all,
That
that's why
dude
that's why it's
who's
all that's why it's all flamey, and that's also why like it has to fit on the
right.
side.
He's got a nitrous pack in his Civic
Right. That's a
because
funny
he's
way.
not a
That's
good
a funny
enough
way of putting
driver to get his quarter mile in the win. So he puts the nitrous in. It's gonna blow the ass end off his car. But god damn it, it's gonna be a great explosion when it does.
it. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Overall, I really enjoyed this, and I'm really glad they it came out the way that it did, and that I can go back and watch it again. Hopefully, core softens on it over time.
I mean, I know I'm really negative here, like this, because I'm. There were things I really enjoyed about the movie. I enjoyed like Rey's character immensely, Kylo's character immensely. I liked the Jakku scenes, although it was like a repeat of the desert stuff. It kind of bummed me out, but the actual scenery work, topography, like that kind of stuff was really nice. I like that JJ didn't throw that many lens flares in. Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really dialed down the lens
He
flares.
really did, and it was like he
Right
beat
back.
him out. It was really nice.
Yeah.
So there were things I liked about the movie. And like I'm saying, like if you haven't seen it and you're listening to this still, I don't know why it would be, but you should go watch it. Like it's still worth watching. I just was hoping to get a movie like where I want to go 3-4 times in the first month, and I'm not going to be doing that. So that's kind of, it was.
I have only because I went mad with the power of available babysitters.
Right. Yeah. So that's my downfall, right? Like, we had our first sort of real babysitting excursion for this movie, and it was okay, but like I don't know, we like haven't jumped back into it. So it was only grandparents too. So like.
Yeah, we had Nana come over.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see when I get to see it again. I'll probably have to watch it in my house next, which is fine, because I can sit real close and turn my headphones on loud. It'd be great. So cool. I think that about does it. We're at about our hour, so or like.
Oh well, we are.
Yeah. So do you guys have any last thoughts or want to talk about anything separate?
So Hasbro's response to the Where's Rey campaign, because there are no Rey toys, there wasn't even a Rey token in the Star Wars Monopoly,
Right.
Was that they were asked not to produce Rey toys before the movie came out for spoiler purposes. And apparently J.J. Abrams recently heard this, and he called bullshit in such amazing terms.
Well, maybe he didn't ask for it, but did Disney ask? Maybe like it's a possible.
But
I can see it actually being a possible
it's
thing.
bullshit because they have Finn.
It's bullshit.
They have Finn toys and they have like lots of Kylo Ren masks sold for Halloween.
How could a company say something they know is blatantly wrong like that and they're going to get called on it?
Well,
It seems like that seems like a big claim to make, knowing that it's fake. Like
Well, I don't know that. I mean, it's not necessarily fake. I mean, that could have been what a CEO said.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe somebody at Disney, maybe not JJ, but maybe somebody at Disney told them like, don't make the toys until X day or whatever.
Yeah.
But that J.J. Abrams has refuted that and said
Maybe JJ doesn't know. He's not in charge of Disney.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Sure it does.
Him saying that, yes, it does. This is important. This is a super important thing, that there are no Rey toys.
Well, no, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying that him saying
and
that
the spoiler
Hasbro's
thing
story
is bullshit. They spoil shit all the time. They spoil things in the trailers.
That's right.
Disney does this all the time. The entirety of their movies is in the trailers all the time. So I do not see this as a viable excuse.
Actually, lines from the second or third movie were in the trailer because they weren't in this movie.
No, they got cut. So early trailers. I read about this too. Early trailers, like the scene where
Luke talks to anybody, has lines.
Yeah, that, and the scene where like Kylo's broadsword things open up, and there's a number of scenes that just got cut because they made the teasers and trailers based.
And who are you? And the Force will find you. And almost every single fucking scene from the every trailer.
Yeah.
You're a little sensitive about this.
Somebody has watched a lot of the trailers.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You think I was ready for this movie?
So Hasbro has committed to fixing this problem,
Well, that's good.
which,
Rey is fucking awesome, and there should be Rey toys. I want one.
yeah, all of the Rey toys. There's a Rey Funko Pop. She's adorable. Do recommend.
Okay. I just got a Groot the other day, so I think I can.
I have several Groots. They're also super cute.
It's what this has done for me is really renewed my interest in Star Wars. Like I always loved Star Wars, and but it just has been dormant, and it's not anymore, and that's awesome. Um, it made me want to go play the Old Republic, which I am finally. Um,
I don't understand how that game became so good again.
it's
No,
weird.
like I've been working on a blog post for this for like days now because it still made me so angry, and now everything that was wrong is not wrong anymore. Well, I mean, I'm sure the free shit is still terrible, but
Yeah,
I don't play free because it's too great.
I'm not playing free because you've recommended that to me, and even though I'm pretty sure I swore that I would never give them any money anymore, but
I did too.
Good thing I know you guys said that a lot of times. Many times you both have said that.
Yeah. We
Well,
were never, ever getting back
on
together.
on the other hand, it's
There's
fun.
an
like,
HK jetpack if you're a subscriber by January 11th. I mean, come on. Subscribe right now. Get a jetpack. It'll be great.
So I'll have played
Well,
it.
it's January 13th right now. We can't subscribe.
Oh, yeah. So I'm just talking to you, Core, apparently.
All right.
Yeah, so we can talk about that on a future episode because
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot there too. But just I went and bought Star Wars decals for my MacBook and Star Wars pajama pants.
We've got Star Wars family decal thingies for the back of the giant SUV.
That is I might break down. I always swore I would never get those either, but
Me neither, but this is Scum and Villainy, so I can be the Exogarth,
that's even better.
right?
I was gonna ask, are they like Anakin, Padma, Luke, and Leia? Like, those the decals or?
No, there's like IG-88, there's Jabba and the Kowakian monkey lizard, and there's a Bantha and a Tauntaun. The Gup wants to be the Twi'lek slave dancer. I don't know how to tell her not to do that.
Let her make her own mistakes. It's fine.
Yeah, I have a Darth Vader and Friends calendar for this year. Because those kids books are adorable. By the way.
Awesome. I will make a note.
Yep. Anyway, that's what it's really done for me, and the movie has some issues. It was not a perfect movie, but it felt like a pretty perfect Star Wars movie for me, and not Core. That's just fine.
It was fine. Like, my friend who hadn't seen it yet, he's like, well, it's got like a 90-something% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's like, well, yeah, if I gave it a review, it would still be a like quote fresh review.
Right.
But it's not a 90 whatever percent movie for me. It's not.
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, yeah. But I got to see Han and Chewie again, and that made me so happy. And Leia is still badass, and
Leia's the best.
Still
Full
the
stop.
Luke is still the whiniest guy giving up all the time. Even though he's a Jedi Master, it's perfect.
I'm sure there will be backstory there.
I'm sure they will.
There's an explanation. Oh, according to the script, which was leaked, the stage directions in the script, he knows exactly who Rey is.
Well, of course he does.
No. I mean, like, actually in the script, it says he knows who she is and does not have to speak.
Oh, well.
When she comes, yeah, but he's done that before. He's proven that he can. When somebody walks up, he knows what's coming.
Yeah, I mean, and in the trailer he said, like, your family, they got cut. So.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, thank you guys for coming on. Thanks, Lior, for
not being here.
not making too much sourpuss face at us.
Wow.
I kind of was really looking forward to having her in the bottom corner, just like judgy facing and drinking wine the entire time, and I'm sad it didn't happen.
You know,
actually,
I see that, her face in my head every time I even think about Dragon Age.
I actually think it would be really interesting to get her take because she's like not a Star Wars fan, and we're all coming at it from a very different perspective to that. So
Well, absolutely, yeah. Like some of the things that bugged me, like Han and Chewie jumping an inch away at faster than light, like miraculously being in the exact right spot, not to crash into the planet, and the whole gravity well thing. Like anyone who doesn't like actually watch Star Wars or read stuff, like they don't care. Like that doesn't matter,
yeah,
right?
I mean
But
that's like that stuff didn't bother me nearly as much, right? Because like
you don't care, yeah.
way farther away from the extended universe details.
Well, okay, so I know we have to cut off here, but like you didn't think even like the whole gravity well thing aside, the fact that timing, like they're traveling faster than light and they finish like inches away from the trees, like that's the most precise timing.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
Ridiculously
that
precise
stuff's
timing
all
ever.
stupid, and like, yeah, exactly. And actually, the fact that there's no space battle in the entire movie was sad.
They don't
And,
do space battles.
and why TIE fighters are still used in atmospheres beyond me. It's fucking ridiculous.
But overall, I'm high on this movie and can't wait to be in a position to see it again.
And 18 months until the next one. That's the worst.
Is that until
May 2017.
is that,
Okay, I didn't know that.
Rogue One or is that episode
Episode 8.
8?
Rogue One is next year.
Okay.
Rogue One theoretically is supposed to have. Oh no, it's not Rogue One. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah. So
Is Rogue One the Han Solo movie?
no, Rogue One is the many Bothans died movie. Or no, it's not that. It's the first Death Star. It's the plans. It's like.
Oh no, maybe that is the one that I thought it was. That's got at least call outs to the Rebels crew,
I believe that is true. Yep.
which makes me very
Well, it
happy.
would have to
in
now
my heart.
because right now it would have to be because if it's going to be with the pre-Death Star plans for number 1, they have to redo that story since they've cut old ones out and it would tie in with the Rebels because they're the Rebels right now, right?
Right.
Yep.
Also, I would really like to see Ahsoka Tano in a movie.
So does it make you sad that you know that they're all going to die in Rebels since they're not around during the rebellion to teach Luke how to be a Jedi?
No, because they've got other shit to do. Like
not
Kanan and Hera have to go have amazing half-breed babies.
Yeah, but like when Anakin's kid shows up and the 3 of them know that, they go talk to him, right? So they must have died already.
You're a horrible person.
I'm just saying.
Maybe
It
they
is-
just
it
don't
is
know
true.
because Anakin's kid has been hiding out, and like maybe that's part of why.
But after he goes with the first Death Star, like, hey, Luke Skywalker, new Jedi, remember that guy who taught you how to use the Force? Maybe I should go say hi to his kid.
All right,
I am fairly sure that Ahsoka is going to die a horrible death, and it's going to be awful, and it's going to break my heart.
I'm gonna cut us off here. It was really good to talk to you guys. Thanks everybody out there for joining us.
Oh, if you're still around, I don't know if anyone made it this long through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
we
can
got-
find us
got a little
on
intense
the
there.
internet. You can find us on the internet at leorblog.com/catcontext and iTunes and
It's Cat Context Podcast.
okay. And our YouTube channel is Totally Legit Publishing Pub. Totally Legit Pub, I think. I don't know. You guys know where to find us. If you don't know where to find us, tweet at Leor's. Or nope, I'm sorry, at Hey It's Leor's. She has changed it.
Wait, is it just, it's Hayes Leor now, right? Just singular, it's not plural, is it?
Hey,
No,
It's-
there is only one Leor. Course
Yeah.
correct.
I think it's
or
singular
tweet,
again now.
Tweet at Aerolade or at That Angry Dwarf, and I will possibly respond, but probably not. So, have a good couple of weeks, and am I supposed to say, may the Force be with you?
You can, I guess.
That's too dorky even for
You
me.
can do whatever you want, Ellie. You're an adult.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna...
you're the closer. You say what you need.
All right, I've already said it. Bye.
Bye.
All right, stop.